make it at home? I won't make it at home, just so. But I can pretend I'm gonna make it at home. Or I can make my son do it. Hey, you wanna do something creative? Here's a blender, use it, learn. Teach them while they're young. All right, you guys, so there's resources, right, to help you. Go online. There's a lot of YouTube videos on helping you budget. A lot. Watch them, learn. I just listened to Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's a great book, and I have 2 quotes I'm gonna end my speech with. But we have, just so you guys know, at First Independence, we have financial education and help with credit through our partner, Operation Hope. We are in partnership with Operation Hope. We also learn, we teach you how to invest and where to start. We have a partnership with Mass Mutual. We also offer accounts for the unbanked and underbanked. They are basically second opportunity checking accounts that help people who have that did not know how to manage their checking accounts in the first place. And you know how they used to put people on checks when they close their accounts? Yeah, now we avoid it. You don't have to. As long as you open a checking account and stop going to the check cashing places. Check cashing places are horrible places, you guys. Go to the bank that the check is drawn on. They'll charge you $10 to cash your check. It's that simple. Don't go to check cashing places. I've heard that they're up to 5% now. They charge 5% of your check. Why? If it's drawn on PNC, take it to PNC. If it's drawn on Bank of America, take it to Bank of America. They'll charge you a check cashing fee. Whatever it is, the maximum will be $25. Better than 5% of that check. We also just launched a program for minorities in the low to moderate income space, just so you guys know. I actually did this program. It's for first-time home buyers. It's $7,500 towards your closing costs and down payment assistance for first-time home buyers. So if you know, I'm sorry. So I just launched a program at First Independence Bank for $7,500 for minorities in the low to moderate income space. We give them $7,500 towards their closing costs and down payment assistance. All they have to do is invest $1,000. We're located in Detroit, but you can call. You can call. For mortgages, it's a phone call. With COVID, everything is a phone call away now. It's only for Michigan. Yes. Another program that we're waiting on approval for is $150,000 for small businesses. First, for new businesses and existing businesses, for minorities as well too. And I'm going to end with my favorite quote from the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It says, "I've learned to focus on what I do have control over, which is myself. And if things must change, first I must change. Most of the time, life does not talk to you. It just sort of pushes you around. Each push is life saying, wake up. There's something I want you to learn." That's my quote. You guys have a great one. And feel free to reach out to me if you guys have any questions.
Let's hear from Ms. Saad. So let me apologize to her because I should have I should have told you a little bit about her first. So I was looking at your bio and I thought, they need to know that, so I apologize. I'm just gonna read it very quickly because you're probably wondering, where is her expertise? Not only did she get herself out of debt, but like she said, she's with Independence Bank. So I've always known Independence Bank to be a minority bank in Detroit. That's important, right? So I'm gonna read that. She's on some page in this booklet. You shall find it, and it looks like this. All right? So it says Helda Saad, AVP, Executive Project Manager and Director of Mortgage Lending Operations at First Independence Bank. Helda Saad serves as the AVP and Director of Mortgage Lending Operations of First Independence Bank, a minority depository institution based in Detroit, Michigan. In her role, Helda oversees several areas, including the development of project briefs and business cases, the identification of risks and issues, the coordination with programs or corporate management, and you can read more by simply catching that QR code in that little corner. So that will tell you more about her, how to get in contact with her. Somebody said, you said, what, $7,500? How I do that? Here is the information to catch her and get more information about that $7,500 or whatever else is offered by First Independence Bank in Detroit. Let's hear it again for Ms. Saad. So when you were talking, I was thinking about something that that happened to me when I was in undergrad, about 2 years ago. So when I went to undergrad, I remember that, I went to Wilberforce University, which is a HBCU, right? For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a historically black college and university in Ohio. And when you first get on campus, the first thing you see, I'm talking about in the first week, the first thing you see is all of these tables offering you those credit cards. As a 17 or 18-year-old, that's what I'm getting ready to say. As a 17-year-old, you like, oh, that is a nice t-shirt. Oh my goodness. And don't let it be a water bottle. A water bottle? What? And then if they really marketing, they'll give you a water bottle and a t-shirt. You have hit the jackpot. Especially if you're a broke teenager. You understand what I'm saying? But I remember just not having enough sense to kick one of them guys under the table and just, like they say, Jesus went through the temples and just turn the tables over. Had I known what I know today, that's what I would have done. I'd have went through that student union and just started kicking tables over, just kicking them over. Because they were literally out to drain us and really, really change the trajectory of our credit lives. And we didn't realize that, right? So me and all of my wisdom, I got a whole lot of t-shirts. And the first thing I did was go to, y'all remember Lazarus department store? Because that's what it was in Ohio. Same thing as Hudson's here, right? The first thing I did with my smart ASS was go to Lazarus department store and get me a Coach bag. Listen to Rose. Come on, hey. But I'm 17 years old. The first person in my family to even go to college. I ain't had no business with no Coach bag. I will never forget it. When I think about it, it was ugly. It wasn't even cute. I went and got a $299 Coach bag that probably ended up costing me $3,000 when they got through hitting me for all that money. You understand? Because I didn't pay it. Pay it how? I was a student. I didn't even go to my work study program, let alone. Big D used to say, Vicky, are you ever coming to work? I'd be like, yeah, I'm coming tomorrow. Tomorrow? I didn't go, right? So if I wasn't going to work study, I wasn't going to it. Come on. So when you were talking, that came back to me very clearly, and I just remember just not having enough information. My parents didn't have enough information. There were, I know as an adult that there were some people in my family who had enough information, but do you think they shared it with me? No, they didn't. Which is why an event like this is so important. To have a number, to have a contact for Ms. Saad is so important. I didn't have anybody to say to me, when you take yourself up to Wilberforce University and they come across there with them tables, keep the tables over. I didn't have anybody tell me that. I didn't know. But I bet you I told my kids that. So my oldest is leaving for the first time, and she's going in January. I've already given her the spiel. They don't care nothing about you, and I can buy you all the t-shirts you need. You feel me? I got you. And I'm gonna get you some nice t-shirts. I'm going over there to Miss Kathy's. I'm gonna get you some that are blinged out. I'm gonna get you some t-shirts. We got t-shirts. Don't let them change your life over something so, minute. You know what I'm saying? So again, let's give it up for Miss Saad. That's good information. I'll get her number so you can get back to her when you need her. All right, Big Will. Let me hear something funky. We got about 3 minutes before we transition, but I just feel like I need to hear something funky. Let's hear something funky. Somebody said this is not Yaktown Poets. Let's just act like it is for a second. Because we all like music, right? I know, right? And so, while he's doing that and getting ready to just kind of tickle our ears a little bit, the next person that we're going to hear from will be Miss Lisa Bennett. Miss Lisa Bennett, you ready? Okay, so he's gonna give you some, because every hero needs their own theme song.
Yes, I do.
He's going to get your theme song ready. And wait, don't move, because I want you to strut up here when he get it going. You understand what I'm saying?
Got it.
You about ready, Will? In a minute, I'm gonna start singing. But it's probably gonna be like an old Negro spiritual, so we're gonna wait on the beat. We're gonna wait for the beat to drop. I'm not sure if it's gonna cause you to sashay or march. I'm not really sure. Will, you're gonna have to start singing in a minute. Okay, come on up, because it ain't working. Let's give her a nice hand clap and get her up here on the stage.
All right. Hello, everybody. How are you? It's a real honor to be here today. Can everyone hear me okay? Awesome. So I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Lisa Bennett, and I am an art therapist. Just by a raise of hands, have any of you heard of an art therapist? All right, yes, we have a few people who've heard of us. So that's awesome. So what I plan to do with you all today is I'm gonna talk a little bit about what art therapy is and what I do, and then we're gonna do a little session together. And so everybody should have in front of them a template of a fingerprint. Every fingerprint is unique like we are. A little pack of colored pencils, and then we place some Sharpies on the tables. We're gonna get to that in a little bit, and we'll be identifying some of our personal strengths today. So I think this is such a great transition from our last speaker talking about the financial stresses. What I'm here to give you is some tools to combat those stresses, what we can do. And one of the things we can do is tap into our personal strengths. I'm gonna bet most of you don't spend a lot of time thinking about your own personal strengths. So this will be a really great experiment for you to kind of see what you come up with. So I want to start by telling you what an art therapist is. An art therapist is a master level clinician, and we work with any and all people, all ages, all abilities. Anybody that is looking for support can come to an art therapist. There is also a little controversy sometimes. People who make art may call themselves art therapists. An art therapist, I just want to be clear to kind of separate the two. Art is very therapeutic. Anybody here who is, a songwriter, a musician, an artist, those are all very therapeutic things that we're doing. They make us feel good, but that is not art therapy. Art therapy is actually done with an art therapist, a master level clinician, just to kind of differentiate the two of those for you. So I work right down the street here in Pontiac at the Art Experience, and I know a lot of you haven't heard of it, and that we hear that often. I can tell you, I never heard of it. I grew up in Shelby Township, not too far from Pontiac. I was a young artist, and I never knew of it. So it is a really awesome hidden gem that we have, and I'm really honored to get to work there as an art therapist, and I'm also the program coordinator, so I set up events and things like that there. But today, what I want to do as we begin this session called Strength, I want everyone to just kind of take a nice deep breath. Oh, we got a lot of information before this. We're just going to kind of take a moment. And what I'd like everyone to do right now is just raise your glass, your bottle of water, your can of pop, whatever you have. I'm going to ask everybody to just hold that up. Hold it up kind of high. And you might think, I'm going to propose a toast, right? Nope, I'm not going to propose a toast. You might think, since I'm a therapist, and you're all check out your bottle, maybe I'm gonna ask, is it half full? Is it half empty? If you have a can of pop and you can't tell, it's okay. But I'm not even gonna ask you that. What I wanna ask you is, how much do you think it weighs? Anybody have a guess? They're all different weights, right? There's no wrong answer. Just give me a guess. Anybody? Pound? Some ounces? Right. So everybody's cup is their own weight. It's a different weight, right? I still want you to hold them up, right? Because what I want to do is to tell you that the truth is it doesn't matter how much it weighs, right? If I ask you to hold this, we've been holding it maybe almost a minute now. It's not too bad to hold this for a minute, right? What if I ask you to hold it for the next half hour? Do you think somebody's arm might be a little shaky? It's gonna get a little tired? What if I asked you to carry this, your arm up the whole evening until you get to your car, until you're ready to go? We're gonna have some people who probably dropped their glass. You can put them down now. I'll give you a little break. Was anyone feeling it yet? Okay, and that was just in such a short span of time, right? So the weight never changes. The weight of your glass never changes, but you notice how it begins to feel heavier the longer that we carry it. And it's a great metaphor for our stressors in life. If we have some stress, we may be able to manage it with our tools. But when we are asked to carry that stress, or the stress builds, and we're still trying to hold it, we begin to feel pain, right? It starts to hurt. We start to really feel like this is too much for me. Some of you might drop your bottle, struggle to hold it to the last minute. Some of you might decide, I need to put this down. Whatever it is that you decide is the right thing for you. But what we want to do is we want to tap into our strengths. And our strengths are going to be what help us to get through those stressors, those difficult times. If we're having financial problems, if we're having emotional, mental health issues, a lot of people, because of COVID, are dealing with grief and loss. A lot of people, probably some of us know somebody who died. And so just thinking about all of these stressors and all of the things that are happening in our lives, they can really cloud your judgment. We can become filled with negative thoughts. I talk a lot with my clients about that inner critic. Who has an inner critic? We all do. Think about the things we say to ourselves. We would never tell somebody else when you get up in the morning and look in the mirror, oh, you look awful today. But we do it to ourselves. I hear it from people every day. So really being aware of that inner critic, thinking about it, and working to flip those negative thoughts. I just did a session with some people about restoring your harmony in life. And I did some research, I'm not sure how accurate this is, but on average, people have about 6,000 thoughts a day. And 80% of those are negative. And if we're thinking negatively 80% of the time, that's really going to impact our overall mental health and wellness, right? It's going to hurt us. So these things that can cloud our judgment, we feel emotional, we may impulse spend. We feel emotional, we may do something else that's self-harming or destructive. There's lots of things that people turn to cope. What I want to do and what I do as an art therapist is help you to tap in on your natural abilities, the things that you already possess or that you are going to be able to possess to help propel you through these difficult times. It would be great if life was like a race, just a straight line. But the truth is, we're all twisted and turning, and we have highs and lows, and no matter how prepared we are, we're still going to come up with some of these stressors. It's going to happen. So we want to be as prepared as possible when these moments come up. And you can do that, you possess that in yourself. And one way that we can do that is by remembering our own personal strengths. Your strengths are your talents, your knowledge, and your skills. And if you want to jot this down on your paper, you can, because we are going to make some art in a few minutes. So your talents, your knowledge, and your skills. Those are some of your strengths. And what I want to do today is help you to identify some of those strengths that you may not realize you have. So I'm going to just give you 3 ways to get you thinking about your own personal strengths. And this is self-care right now that we're doing. This is what we all need to be doing regularly. Self-care is very important. Mental health is health. So the 3 ideas that I have for you, and you might jot these down because after I finish talking, we're going to spend about 15 or 20 minutes, however much time we have, to work on these fingerprints, and then we're going to talk about it. So the first idea that I want to get you thinking about your own personal strengths is I want you to kind of tap into your childhood. Think way back, maybe it's not that far back. Just think back to when you were young, when you lived very unapologetically, when you did what you just wanted to do. There was no role model for you. It was just your thing. You loved to do it. Nobody told you this is what you should do. Nobody told you this is what you have to do. It just came really natural to you. What was that? Start thinking about some of those things. Maybe in the neighborhood, you were a leader. You got all the kids together. Maybe you were the teacher of the group and you were always helping students in school who needed extra tutoring. Maybe you were really tech savvy and you were just the person who got it every time. Whatever it was, think back into your childhood and tap into some of that positive energy that you once had, kind of before the world gets to you, right? The second tip I have, and this happens a lot at the art experience, it's called the flow. So what are you doing when you're getting into the flow? And the flow is often described as this magic time where you forget about everything else that's going on. And all of a sudden it's been 2 hours and you've been painting. Or you've been at a concert and all of a sudden it's ending and you can't believe it went that fast because you've been so immersed in this moment, in this joy, taking those stressors off of your plate for a little while, right? So think about what you do when you're in the flow. And I'm sure we all have different things that we do. We might listen to music, we might write poetry, we might run, we might, whatever you want to do, whatever it is you do. We see lots of different art forms at the art experience, and we hear it often. Can't believe it's already, like the time has already gone by so quickly. And so the third tip I want to give you, and this is my favorite one really, is to ask others and to listen to others. And so you guys are all sitting at tables, and I think that you probably know some of the people around you. One of the things that you could do, and it might seem a little weird, but you can ask them, what do you think one of my strengths is? And also identifying for yourself, saying it, not feeling arrogant about it. I meet new clients and I want to get to know them, and I ask them, tell me one of your strengths. And immediately it's like, oh, they get red and they're nervous and you can feel the anxiety. They don't want to tell me that they're smart. They don't want to tell me that they ran 10 marathons and they don't give up, that they're that determined. They feel arrogant about saying it. So what I want to remind you all of is to own those strengths. Those are great things to possess. And if we harness them in the right way, right? So asking those people that we know, and also telling those people, something I think about you is this. So in practicing for this, because I'm pushing myself up here in the public speaking scene, not usually my normal gig, right? So I practiced this with my daughters yesterday too, and the day before, let's be honest, right? But when I did it with them, they were both like, whoa. And I had them, they live together, they're my daughters, tell each other a strength that they see in one another. And it was amazing. I was starting to kind of tear up. My oldest daughter told my younger daughter she loves the way she expresses her opinion. And sometimes I don't love the way she expresses her opinion, right? But I love that she is bold enough to stand up and say what she is believing in. And she's only 16. And then she had made a comment to the older. So it's a beautiful thing to hear from other people. People might be surprised at what you tell them. You might tell someone next to you, you have always been so generous. You are a generous spirit. You might tell people, whatever it is, you've always been a great organizer. That's a strength that you possess. Being a great organizer might really help you with financial things, right? With budgeting. Being a great organizer will help you to manage your time more wisely, make more time for self-care. Because when we make more time for self-care, our overall health and mental wellness will improve. And it does improve. And we see that. I see that in the results of my clients and the people that we work with. One of the things I'm most proud of at the art experience is an online group that I do once a month, and it's called Create Connection. Please write this down, please check this out, because the greatest thing, well, one of the greatest things about it is that it's free. And we are able to offer this to the community free because of a very generous grant that we received. So this is offered one Tuesday a month, the last Tuesday of the month at 1 o'clock. You just sign up on our website You get your Zoom link, and I'll be there. And every month we focus on a different topic. Like tonight, we're focusing on our strengths. This month, in a few weeks when I do this next session, it's called Exhale. And we're just gonna all take a breather before the busy holiday season. So every month, I have a different word. In November, it's thankful. We're gonna talk about things we're thankful for, what gratitude means. So I just wanna share that resource with you all because it's pretty amazing. All ages, all abilities, and all you need for this group is just basic at-home materials. So what I wanna do right now is have you all, maybe we can play some music. We got our DJ over here. Let's play some music and spend whatever time we have allowed, 15 to 20 minutes, working on our fingerprints. So let's just say, to get you started, if you think one of your strengths is bravery, I feel like I'm kind of brave standing up here tonight. So bravery, I could write bravery on my print, and I might draw a little story. I might write a story. I might draw an image of me on a stage. Whatever it is that you want to do, there is no right or wrong way. It's just helping you to identify those personal strengths that you possess that can really help you to get through the difficult times. So let's take some time, listen to music, talk to your friends, tell them what you think about them, point out some strengths they might not see, and then I hope when we're done we can share and talk about how this feels to you all. Sound good? Does anyone have any questions? You can do it any way you want. The bottom of these sheets have a little QR code, and that is just my contact info. But this is your art, and this is however you choose to do it is the right way. So just go at it, have some fun. Remember, this time is for you to focus on your own personal self-care and your own individual strengths. Thank you.